Hello and welcome to Perspectives, where we take a deep dive into the issues of the day and where we take a look at people's opinion on such issues. I am Ruth Osime.
And I am Olatorera Majekodunmi-Oniru, here to share our in-depth perspectives on electronic harassment and cyberbullying. We have two special guests coming up with unique experiences to share, so please stay tuned.
Welcome back to Perspectives here on Arise News. Cyberbullying is a type of bullying in which one or more individuals use digital technologies to abuse, insult, intimidate, or threaten a person. The effects of cyberbullying can create long-lasting emotional effects, even if the bullying has stopped. When someone posts nasty things about you, some people can filter that out as they are able to put a block between that and their self-esteem. But not everyone has the strength to do just that. Intense form of psychological abuse to a person, if not handled properly, can lead to dire situations, as there have even been reported suicide cases as a result of cyberbullying. Young people seem particularly vulnerable because they are attracted to these platforms as a means of seeking validation from their peers. Anyone can fall victim to this type of harassment, but those who usually get the brunt of this are celebrities, social media influencers, and public figures. Being a celebrity doesn't make you immune from the power of cyberbullies. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are monumental in connecting the world, allowing anyone with a smartphone to break the news and social movements to grow with the use of a hashtag. Their anonymity and knowledge of technology are the keys to empower these perpetrators. Celebrities especially are expected to be able to deal with negative comments, since it is considered a regular part of being famous. But some people do not interpret negative comments against such people as cyberbullying. Instead, they perceive these comments as their own personal opinions. Greater attention and research is needed to discover the underlying motivations of cyberbullying and also help victims identify effective strategies and appropriate measures to overcome them.
Very well said. In 2006, a young girl named Megan had unlimited access to a computer and joined the popular social media network MySpace. Megan was a shy girl dealing with overweight and self-esteem issues. Megan met Josh, who complimented her non-stop, and she fell in love. For Josh, it was all a game, and one day he told Megan, "The world will be a better place without you." Megan took a step from her computer, hung herself, and was pronounced dead within 24 hours. Investigators discovered that Josh was actually Megan's neighbor, Lori, in disguise. This led to the introduction of Megan's law for anti-cyberbullying. More recently, in 2020, we lost Etika Mamafo, who jumped off a bridge and drowned after being unable to handle cyberbullying. On YouTube and other platforms, internet penetration globally is 65%, and in Nigeria it is 50%. Many children as young as 10 years old have access to the internet and to social media networks. Within the digital space, we also have predators, cybercriminals, and millions of fake identities. Cyberbullies are out there seeking to dominate and humiliate. Limiting them requires enforcement of community guidelines from parents and social media companies. The increasing use of restrictions, parental controls, and blocking tools have today helped in limiting contact with cyberbullies. Co-host and I will have our usual discussion shortly, but for right now, let's watch this special report, Perspectives. We'll be right back.
With the prevalence of social media and digital forums, comments, photos, posts, and content shared by individuals, which can often be viewed by strangers as well as acquaintances, has increased the chances of cyberbullying. Cyberbullying takes place over digital devices like cell phones, computers, and tablets. It includes sending, posting, or sharing negative comments about someone else. It can include sharing personal or private information about someone else, causing embarrassment or humiliation. some cyberbullying crosses the line into unlawful or criminal behavior. As adults, thinking back, it was just a generation ago that kids and teens were asking their parents for a phone in their room. Maybe even one with a separate line or a three-way calling system so that they could easily and privately connect with friends and more. Today, a kid or teen's desire to connect with friends has not changed, but the options for doing so has grown tremendously. Today on Perspectives, we will be taking a look at the effects of cyberbullying, the emotional turmoil, low self-esteem, and sometimes even suicide of victims.
The effects have proven severe and could cause emotional scarring, creating long-term symptoms of depression and, in some cases, suicide.
We would also be looking at solutions and ways to tackle the issue of cyberbullying, how to protect and guard not just children, even adults, from falling victim of online bullying.
But there is a way to fight against it.
It's heart-wrenching to watch things like this happen because it's being perceived as if it's only at a certain age you are affected by cyberbullying. That's not the case. At any age you can be affected by cyberbullying. Truth of the matter is, yes, it's worse when you're famous. It's worse when people look up to you and people just want to sort of rattle your cage and see how you react publicly. But my heart really goes to the young ones who have not even fully matured as adults. They don't know how to control their emotions. I mean, we just saw there that some people have been it has led to suicide. Mm-hmm. So one cannot but wonder if there are pertinent laws that should be put in place, whereby should such a thing occur, it should be managed or taken off or not posted.
Right. So they don't just limit it to say certain age. Some countries actually say bullying, inclusive of cyberbullying, usually occurs in your teenage years, and so that's where their laws focus on for cyberbullying. And then when it comes to the adult cyberbullying, they classify it as electronic harassment, stalking, the likes of, when people are being harassed online.
Sometimes you cannot also but wonder that, are you making yourself too available? Maybe you're living your life on social media. Maybe there are some things that you should keep to yourself so that people won't use that something against you. But at the end of the day, it's your choice, it's your prerogative, it's your prerogative. Whether or not you want to be out there or whether or not you're a private person, the fact still remains that there are these anonymous people, these faceless people who sometimes, out of their own frustration, derive some perverse pleasure in spoiling your day or trying to paint you with a brush that you're not.
Many of them create fake accounts. Like the story I read during the introduction, the young lady she fell in love with someone, but it was her neighbor.
Can you imagine?
Who was harassing her, someone she was taking the school bus with, going to school with, who decided, I'm going to torture you. And they told that the world can do
I think a lot of people that do cyberbullying also have emotional problems. They also have mental health issues.
And there's probably some jealousy somewhere towards the victim. A bit of jealousy. They're not happy for that victim, so they devise strategies to
somebody
attack.
who seems to be living her life or his life and is, everything seems to be going well for them, and there you are in your little corner, you're not happy, you are just there's so much displeasure about what your life around you. And the only way you can let off steam is just, bust somebody's bubble.
I think we just summarized why they attack celebrities and influencers.
Celebrities are easy
because
praise,
they put their lives out there
and they're easy praise. They're easy. I mean, I've had a few friends who have been, I myself have been the victim of cyberbullying, but there are people who are just easy to hate, if that's what you use. Do you understand? Your life just seems too perfect, you're doing so well, and why should you be happy when I'm not? And that's an opportunity for them to post one or two. I've seen people really being victimized by cyberbullying.
I've also heard about the group of people that actually get more powerful from bullying. Like, people actually follow them more, they get more followers, they have a voice, so which makes them want to do it more. So humiliating people, dominating people online.
Okay, you're talking about the people who do the post. I'm more powerful. Okay, the bullies.
The bullies actually. So when they get comments and they see that it's being shared, it's being liked, they get excited because, like we
The
said,
bottom
they
line
have
is
some
that,
issues
our
behind the
life
scenes.
now is in the hands of social media. They almost dictate the pace and to determine whether or not you should be happy, which should not be the
Right.
case. I just hope that everybody that has been a victim of cyberbullying will see it as just that and
Absolutely.
be confident enough to know that, look, it doesn't affect your person. It's not going to change who you are. But although easier said than done, because there are some really, really nasty comments that,
And
you
at what
cannot
stage
but
do
wonder.
people withdraw from social media? Because there are people who have committed suicide, panic
Well,
attacks, depression.
yeah,
At what stage do you
self-esteem.
say, I'm more important than social media?
No, but yeah,
my self-esteem,
yeah,
my
that could also be,
life, my health
yes,
is most important
but that
to
could
me.
also be social media will not dictate me. Social media will not dictate my life. Especially if
It
you are
takes
a
a lot
brand.
of power.
Yeah, but if you're a
to do
brand
that.
ambassador.
Maybe you're not reading the comments, or you just
No, sometimes they
completely
block
tune
them.
it away.
They block
Exactly.
them.
If
Because if
able
you're
to
a
block
social media
them.
influencer and you're a brand ambassador, that is how you earn your livelihood. You cannot now stop your means of livelihood just because a few disgruntled faces have passed a comment or two that is quite undeserving.
Right. Which is where these laws are coming in. Social media platforms are mandated
Well,
to create the
laws-
blocking tools. People have
I hope the
people
laws
block now within an instant.
but I hope the laws will be more seriously approached because cyberbullying should not be allowed, just like physical bullying.
Yeah.
If a child bullies another child in school, there are consequences.
we have a cyber harassment law.
Okay,
It was enacted in 2015, I believe.
really?
Yeah,
And
it's
then
1
what
year
has
in jail
happened?
and fine of 2 million.
No, but has anybody?
But every now and then they do pick up people from
Oh, I'm
based
not
on
aware of
Twitter
that.
comments.
But as a victim, do you go to them and tell them that this person is harassing you, blah, blah,
I
blah?
think the
How
first
does it work?
lady from this current tenure once did that, approached the law enforcement for someone who had made a comment to her online.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which
we
first lady?
discussed this.
In one of the states in Lagos,
No,
Nigeria.
of the Nigeria.
Oh, that's
Buhari's
interesting.
wife. Yeah.
But it'd be good if repercussions can be made, and where the cyber bully knows that they can be charged or they can be taken to court for this act, because the power of the tongue is so strong.
It's
it
so
just takes a
strong.
lot of confidence
I
to be able to
know.
override that. And as you mature, anyway, you
Right.
get to realize that not everybody can love you.
And even with the laws, people are creating fake accounts now.
Anyway, we're heading for a short break, but stay with us because our distinguished guests shall be joining us on return. Radio girl, influencer, and entrepreneur Toke Makinwa, together with Dayo Israel, National Youth Leader of All Progressive Congress. Perspectives will return in just a moment.
Dayo Israel. We're welcoming our guest. Dayo Israel is the National Youth Leader of the All Progressives Congress Party. He was named in 2017 as one of 100 most influential people of African descent in celebration of the United Nations Decade for People of Africa Descent. Dayo is a member of the British Council Global Changemakers Network, Connecting Futures Program, and fellow of the United States Department of International Visitors Leadership Program. He is a Henley Business School Young Leader and has twice been recognized as one of the United Kingdom's 50 brightest young leaders. Dayo was additionally recognized as one of the top 25 promising Nigerian youths under 35 to serve Nigeria in 2016. He has studied in different courses at London Met and is also a motivational speaker, international advisor, and business mentor to young entrepreneurs. Dayo is a larger-than-life character who exudes energy and inspires those around him. Welcome, Dayo.
Toke Makinwa, on the other hand, is a Nigerian radio show personality, television host, vlogger, lifestyle entrepreneur, actress, and author. Toke is one of the top 5 African female show hosts and has won several awards, too many to mention, some of which are Outstanding Female Personality of the Year, Radio OAP of the Year, Most Influential Young Nigerian in Media. She's also rated amongst 100 most influential young Africans. Aside from hosting numerous high-octane events, Toke has a few movie roles up her belt. Her venture into talk shows was heralded by her YouTube vlog series, Toke Moments. Today, she has another TV show called Talk with Toke Makinwa. Love her or hate her, after over a decade, Toke continues to dominate the media space, showing no signs of abating. She has graciously worked her way up the ladder of prominence and positioned herself as one of Africa's most sought-after entertainment personalities and Nigeria's foremost news media influencer, having over 5.4 Instagram followers, 139,000 YouTube subscribers, 1.2 Twitter followers, and 696,000 followers on TikTok. We feel great to have you individuals here with us. Welcome to Perspectives.
Welcome. Exciting bios from both of them.
Toke, our very own Kim Kardashian, looking hot in blue. How are you, my dear?
I can hardly hear you. If you can hear me, I cannot hear you at all.
Well, we can hear you well.
Okay.
Can you hear us now?
It's very faint. I can hardly hear you, but I will try. It's gonna.
I might have to scream out of my lungs for you to hear.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear now?
I can hear you, but for some reason it's very faint.
Okay, she can hear you. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so maybe we should just go to Dayo until Toke is sorted out. Dayo, how are you? You're looking very good. Very well.
I'm
good morning.
Fine, thank you. It's a great day. It's a good
Great
Saturday.
Dayo,
Yes.
welcome to Perspectives.
Great speaking
Good
to
to
you.
have you here.
So I want to ask, there was an incident that happened to you
Hey,
in
Toke.
Abuja. Can you hear me, Dayo? Can you hear us? Dayo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very clearly. 100%.
Okay, I want to ask, there was an incident
I can
that
hear you
happened.
very clearly, 100%.
Okay, there was an incident that happened to you in Abuja. I think you got attacked or something. And then the response that you got
Yes,
on
my car
Twitter.
was robbed in my town a few days ago.
And then what was the response like on Twitter or on social media?
It's amazing what social media has become in Nigeria, and I think it's because of the seed of tribalism and bigotry that was sowed in the last election, in particular by some sect of the political space cluster that turned the whole election into a religious election and an ethnic election. So the reality is that this election we've just held has really created a deep sense of bitterness among some sect who are perhaps unhappy about the outcome. And we're not talking about the election, but the result of that has had impact on how human relations have been. People have cut out friendship just because of religious political differences. When that thing happened on that night and it came out on social media, I didn't even expect that it was going to spread the way it spread, and everybody was talking about it. But 90% of the conversation around it was by people who had dominated the Twitter space with hatred. And some of them were saying to me that, why the robber not buy you? We expected that they would have taken you away. Another one said, the robbers didn't really take anything. They should have cut out your pot belly. There were so many abuses, attacks, insults, and even body shaming. And as a matter of fact, one of them said, those robbers should be sanctioned. Why didn't they take your car too? It was so much, But one of the things I've decided to do is to just, leave Twitter and, let the people who want to have bitterness enjoy themselves and enjoy the space. And so every now and then I just, go in and throw out something or tell one of my people to just post out some of our activities and just, ignore it. Because the bitterness and the anger on that space, just because I support my candidate, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to be president. I've not done anything to anybody. I've not, had any argument or anything with anybody. The only reason why this hatred is there is simply because you wanted somebody and I wanted Asiwaju, and Asiwaju won. And the same way and during the election, they have been harassing people. They've been attacking people just because you believe in somebody else. Somebody will come and say, and you want the best for Nigeria, and you have children, and you are supporting this person that is a geriatric, that is not going to, and I'm like, dude, this is the election, it's democracy. You have a right to choose who you want to follow. So part of the impact of the election that we need to look into is this deep sense of propaganda that was spread during that last election. And, a lot of people were bullied into silence. In particular, if you're supporting Asiwaju Tinubu, there was so much hatred that a lot of people kept quiet and allowed these guys dominate the space. At a stage, I had to come out there and began to let me use the word roar and begin to defend, because I said to people, I'm like a shepherd. I'm the head of the youth wing of our party. And if I cannot speak up and stand to protect and defend the youth of my party, Many of them who don't have a voice, who have been, silenced by this. You just tweet one thing and somebody just come. 200, 5,000 who just come and start attacking under your tweet. A lot of people don't have the liver for that to defend themselves or to fight back. They just keep quiet.
Dayo, thank you for that feedback. You have been criticized heavily lately, mostly for your political positioning and viewpoints, which you mentioned. It started when you said and published something about Igbos putting pressure on social services in Lagos. At some point, you retorted that if anyone gives you 1 water, you will give them 5 waters. Firstly, what does water mean? And second, what led to this? Thirdly, are you a pastor? And fourth, do you still believe in leadership of servanthood and turning the other cheek?
So, Tora, let's take the question very well. It's early in the morning. I've just had breakfast, so I'm still booting up. So let's take your first 2 questions. First, you said I tweeted something about, I said something about Igbo Putin. No, I never said anything like that. I was on a debate by Channels TV, Ebuka was moderating. And this gentleman who was representing the PDP came on here, was standing beside me and said, we shout about Lagos generating 50 billion every day, every month, thereabout. And we say Lagos is all and that. And we're saying that Tinubu turned around Lagos. But that Lagos was dirty. Lagos doesn't have a good healthcare system. We don't have a good drainage system. We have this and that. Started attacking Lagos. And I said, my brother, Lagos spent money investing in infrastructure. But you know that people come from all parts of Nigeria. Some on the backs of trucks, some on the backs of trailers, some by plane,
and
some by road. And I'm talking about
services.
facts and statistics. And coming, absolutely. So what? And we're talking fact here. The more people come into the system who are living in other states that are not developing because of bad leadership and come here. So you provide a road, and in 3 months that road is already getting, because population is increasing. You have social amenities, for example, and the more people come, this is a migration issue. This is a population issue, and this is discussed even at international platform. That the more, even in Britain, America, why do you think the conservative are, for example, against migration? Because people come from different parts of the world and they come into the economy. So when you budget and you appropriate for a certain number of people, the more your population increase, it puts a pressure on your economy, on your infrastructure, on your services, and you then expand. So what I was trying to explain to the gentleman, hold on, Toke, please, Torera, this is just scientific. This is economy.
Yeah, but
let's have a budget and appropriate for a certain number of people.
Let's not deviate from what the essence of this topic is, because we didn't come here to come and discuss about Lagos State. We came here to come and discuss about you being a victim of cyberbullying. So as much as we respect your views,
I was referring to that, and it's important that I clear the perspective.
What you should have explained.
But some people, what they like to do. No, let me just say, some people, what they like to do is that when you make a statement, they try to twist it to make you look bad, and to twist it just because of the political alignment that you have.
No, but I'm curious.
Immigration that comes into Lagos every day.
Dayo, what is water? That's one I want to even know. What's water?
What is water?
Okay, so water means, so they come to you and they
you want to give 5.
Harassing you and cyberbullying you. They start attack. Okay, for example, let me give you an example. If as I sit here now, and I tweet, good morning, God bless you. I can tell you the next 10 minutes, over 10,000 people will come under that tweet and start saying, what is good about your money? Oh, Agbado people.
Okay, so that's what water is. That's what water is.
God cannot bless you. Yes.
Okay. So you made a point.
Yes. It's just saying, if you give it to me, I'll give it back to you.
5 times.
Okay. Thank you.
Because
Let's get back.
bullied our people into silence. And people are now timid to even talk on social media. But I think sometimes we need to respond to them, because they will keep continuing. It's like the other day, all I did was tweet that I was in a mechanic village in my local government in Ebutemeta. The next thing, they just came under my tweet and said, the God has departed from you, the kingdom will be removed from you. I don't even know you from anywhere.
Dayo, please round up with this.
Don't worry, Dayo.
Dayo, please round up with this for those who are at home and want to hear this.
So
are you a pastor? Are you a pastor, Dayo?
Whatever it is doesn't really matter.
You a pastor?
But you are very vocal.
I'm a minister of the gospel.
You are very vocal,
I'm a minister
Dayo.
of the gospel.
I find it difficult.
So you're a pastor.
I find it difficult that you can be a product of cyberbullying, because the way you are talking, you look like a hard nut to crack. But anyway, let me get back to Toke. Toke.
Good morning. I can hear you now.
Our very own Kim Kardashian, looking hot in blue. Did you people plan it?
Thank you.
Because you're both wearing blue. Was it a plan? Was it a coincidence?
I didn't think, well, you know what they say, great minds, they think alike,
Yeah.
I
I
guess.
feel you. I feel you there. Anyway, it's okay. Being a celebrity, you are loved, admired, and sometimes, funny enough, hated by people for no just cause. Like every
Yes.
human, you have had your fair share of ups and downs, but you don't have the luxury of lack of privacy like every normal person. So this makes you an easy target for cyberbullying. To some, such vitriol can have an adverse effect. So tell us, how did you feel when you first started getting cyberbullied? And what have you learned? And how have you learned to overcome the negativity of such acts and forge ahead?
I think as with every other human being, you're out there just doing your beat and donating your quota to humanity in whatever field you find yourself. And no one prepares you for the fact that not everyone is going to, necessarily agree with you or understand what you're all about. And it was quite shocking. I think the very first time I had a social media slander was many years ago. And I just didn't understand why people were curious. And then the curiosity also led to a lot of people being very angry, like, why does she have to be so vocal? What does she even talk about on this YouTube? Why is she just everywhere? MTN everywhere you go. Every event she's there. This, that. And it was very shocking because, I'm just out there literally trying to build my career, trying to work on, myself and trying to just be better than yesterday. And I did not think I was going to piss that many people off. Along the line, I learned really quickly to drown out the noise because first, they criticize. And the next thing is, they almost sort of like copy. And then when you realize the power that has been vested in you in terms of the people who follow you, the people who are inspired by what you do, there will always be bad eggs here and there. And, the popular saying, not every dog that barks at you deserves your attention, deserves the stone being thrown at them. So very early on in life, I had to grow a thick skin because I realized that, the praise was there and there is 1 or 2, 3 negative nods. Would I leave all the praise and then focus on the negativity? I wasn't going to do that. I mean, were there moments where I cried myself to sleep? Probably in the beginning, maybe 1 or 2 times. But by the 3rd time, I was like, you know what, I'm used to it now and we're going to do this till the end. I'm just going to live my life and then I'm going to adjust.
Absolutely.
And it's
I really like that you said you grew a very thick skin. That's very good. There are people out there who think cyberbullying is entertaining. They read the comments and enjoy it with a good laugh. But we know cyberbullying affects victims in many varying ways. It carries on from cyberspace to real world, sometimes complicating the victim's physical health. Some have decried public anxiety, panic attacks, depression, suicide. Can you share with us what you want people to know about the serious downsides of cyberbullying?
I don't think we talk more or we talk enough about cyberbullying. Just the concluded month, the month of March was a very interesting month on social media because, of course, the Nigerian elections evoked a lot of emotions and feelings across the border. And you find people sort of saying things like, oh, it's just words, it's just bants, you're just banting with someone. But they don't realize that words are actually sharper than, the sword, as popularly said. People don't talk enough about it. They don't preach enough about it in schools. They don't educate their wards or their children enough about how unkind these things can be. And, the effect is far reaching. Sometimes you think you're great, you have a thick skin and you don't care what people say. And it starts to show up many years down the line. When you're about to make decisions, you start to second guess yourself. When you're about to do something, you start to think, what will people think? And even if people have said this 1,001 times, why do you care what people think? It's hard when you're in the eye of the public. It's hard when everything you do is constantly being scrutinized. I think that schools need to enforce more stricter laws. I think that social media needs to also, I know they try. I mean, there's certain social media platforms that you can't necessarily, you can report certain pages and they will take those pages down. Twitter, I don't think is as advanced as that because they believe that everyone has a right to their opinion, but those opinions sometimes are not true. Some of them are also
But okay, another question I want to ask you. Do you think cyberbullying is as bad as physical bullying, what springs to mind when you hear the word cyberbullying? And I recall you did say to me that you sometimes now you block them, but you used to go to check their handles, and you found that some of them, you can understand why they're frustrated, So do you actually think that is worse than physical bullying?
I think that we can't compare both, because comparing it is like you're asking which one is the lesser evil. They're both evil. Someone might sit somewhere and think, well, they didn't inflict any harm to you. You did inflict harm. Your words are mightier than the sword. You find someone say things like your nose is funny. Throughout the rest of the day, you're wondering, is my nose really funny? Maybe I need to sort out my nose. Maybe people just don't like me because my nose is funny. It has a far-reaching consequence. I feel like, you seem to think it's just words that have been said and peddled, right? And then for the physical abuse, it's like, you can see the bruise and you can take care of it and it can heal. Words take time to heal. Sometimes they don't even heal. We know how people have been traumatized from cyberbullying, from literally not even being celebrities, just being normal human beings. I don't think I would want to compare both. I think they're both evil. I think that both of them, are literally on the same level. I still stand behind that, I don't think just because someone hits you physically and someone speaks words of, despise and evil towards you, which one would you pick? Someone will most certainly say, I'll pick the cane, because I know that after all, it's just strokes of the cane, right? But as a child, imagine when you start to say mean and horrible things to that child, they grow up believing those things. Yeah. So I would think that cyberbullying is actually worse. It has a far more worse repercussion down the line.
Thank you so much, Toke. Dayo,
I don't block people.
You don't at all?
No blocking.
Oh, wow.
I think for me, what would hurt me is for the person to think, because some of them is for entertainment purposes, as you rightfully said, right? Yeah. A lot of them see 1,000 people loving on you and they want to be different. They're thinking, how would she remember me if I just write, Ruth, you're pretty? No, they have to say, you're ugly. Because then you sit back and you start to wonder, out of 1,000 people praising me, why is this one person, trying to tear me down? So for that reason, I scoped their page and I realized that life is dealing with them as it is, and I don't want to open up them harder. So I let them enjoy and get it out of their chest.
Oh, wow. You've definitely grown very thick skin. Congratulations on that.
She has to survive in this business.
Dayo, I'm going to bring you back in. You're a very busy person. I know that. You are National Youth Leader, which includes 36 states and the FCT for the APC. You mentioned earlier also that you have left Twitter. But are there not some benefits of social media usage for you that may outweigh the distractions and the effects of cyber trolling and bullying? Can you share some tough decisions that have made you have to limit or increase sharing your private life online?
Thank you very much. So first, I think like Toke, I don't block people as well. I've been tended to block people a few times, but I have a culture of sometimes, like Toke said, you are just pained by what I do and by my, by my life or my lifestyle or the impact that we're making and all of that. So blocking you, there's a prayer we pray in Yoruba, Loju or Tamejekin Shorire. So for me, I want you to see, if I block you now, you won't see the greatness that I'm making. You won't see my progress. And I want you to see it and be pained. So that's how I bully you back. That despite your hatred and your enmity, you are not stopping me. I'm still moving forward. My man is still the president-elect of Nigeria and is going to be sworn in on May 29 by God's grace. So for me, what I've only just done is I don't go to the comment. I don't read the comment. Because sometimes when you read those comments, you're just like, what kind of human being will sit down and write this to somebody you don't know, you have never met, you know nothing about? From onset, I've never put anything about my private life. I avoid putting my private life. What I put is my work, where I go through what I'm doing. Like tonight, I have an iftar program in Abuja at the Transcorp for Ashiwaju. I put that there. I put the video of the setup there and all of that kind of thing. So those kind of things I put out there. But I've limited, either even going to the comment or even maybe tweeting myself. Because sometimes you also need to have your sanity, the mental balance to be able to be productive Absolutely. And to be able to lead your people. I'll tell you one contract that I experienced. So I come on Twitter and I see all of this, attacks. And then I'm on the elevator and somebody sees me and say, Dayo Israel. I say, yes, I'm the one. oh my God, I need to take a selfie with you, I'm proud of you. So that helps me actually manage, and I just realized that, wait, that hatred is just from a certain sect. Either you call them obedient or disobedient, or people who are angry and, unhappy about the outcome of the election. Because I meet real people who in banks, on the road, at lobbies, who, meet me and appreciate. So, I then realized that actually those things have an effect, silently and subconsciously, because you're wondering if people hate you like this. And then what helps me is that then yesterday night I was in the elevator and somebody just said, are you Dayo? I said, the person who is asking, are you obedient or not? They said, no. I said, okay. And then he came and he took a selfie with me, and I'm like, okay. So it's not like, people.
But isn't that factional?
And you're just trying to, follow what you believe in. What do you mean?
Should it depend on if they are obedient or not?
No. I was just joking with the guy. I just said, depends on who's asking. I didn't want anybody to move from cyberbullying to physical bullying to me.
Now, talking about cyberbullying, do you feel that the platforms, the various platforms, should take more stringent steps to curb cyberbullying? And if so, what platform do you think is the worst when it comes to such effects, such actions, and why?
I think Twitter is the worst. Different social media platform has their own. So Instagram, for example, of course, I've also received a lot of attacks recently. In that so I was attacked my car was attacked by these robbers. I was somewhere and my window was smashed. My phone, my ATM card, my token, my bag was stolen from the car just a few days ago in my time in Abuja. Now, coming out of that and people saying they wish that they had killed me, they wish that they had attacked me, they wish that they had cut off my belly and all of that, it makes you really worried about where we are as a nation. And now this is prominently on Twitter. Instagram too has its own, but it's very limited. Facebook also has it, but the worst of all of this is Twitter. And I think Twitter needs to begin to change their rules and guidelines beyond just blocking people, but also to be able to help to ensure that they must consciously ensure that we can manage this kind of situation. But beyond that, I think we have to do a lot of work, in particular as the new administration comes in, on national orientation and on history and on healing, because what we have also realized from this is that a lot of people don't understand, what we have come from as a nation or where we have been. And so the kind of hatred that they are spewing out here reminds me of Rwanda, the Utsis and the Tutus and the wars in Rwanda. If this continues this way, we will see another, we might experience a genocide like they did in Rwanda, because the hatred is too much and it is sectional. It is, go and check, 90%, 99% of the 100% of the bullying that I've received have come from a particular sect and a particular structure and system. You know what I'm talking about. Of course, Toke's own is different because, it's entertainment industry. People bully her for different reasons, for her looks, for her face, for different things like that. But she's an amazing person. They're just hating on her beauty.
So, but for somebody like Toke, for instance, who you say...
Toke's still with us? Okay.
We thank Toke for being with us. She's had to leave very abruptly, but thank you, Toke, for being with us for a short while. Now, Dayo, my issue with this cyberbullying thing is that have you tried to reach out? Have people come to meet you, other victims of cyberbullying, come to meet you and ask you to advise them on how best to handle the situation? Because sometimes it can be so bewildering for the victim that some of them have been known to commit suicide, especially younger ones. Have you had to teach younger ones how to overcome the effect of cyberbullying? Because even you said that it affected you too, also mentally. It hurt you. You spoke about the woman in the WhatsApp group who actually attacked you, and you were, what did she call you and what did she say to you that made you know that she had crossed the line?
Yeah, so I'm on this WhatsApp group called Nigeria's Greatest Asset. And it's a WhatsApp group of some eminent young Nigerians. And, over since the election, every time I post, she comes and calls me different names. She attacks me, calls me gay, calls me different things on the WhatsApp. And I said, it's one thing to be attacked on Twitter, but to be attacked on a WhatsApp group where we call it Nigeria's Greatest Asset, Now, I'm troubled for this country. And why are you attacking me? Just because I'm APC youth leader, and you think by supporting Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I am supporting evil, I'm supporting this, different things that are being spread out here. So the reality is that this is so deep that it's not just me that I'm facing it. A lot of our people, a lot of our youth, and I've had to encourage a lot more. I have one of my followers, just because she danced to celebrate Asiwaju's victory, Olanike Jimo, just because she danced and the dance went viral on Twitter, the company she was working for sacked her. They called her to office on the next Monday and said that she was underperforming and they were letting her go. When she brought her the result of her performance, she was always number 2. We have the evidences. The company had to be calling her back to offer her when the thing went viral, and we brought out the whole issue. So this issue is very widespread, and that's why closer to the election, I began to now speak very, let me use the word boldly. I don't want to say aggressively, because I needed to create a confidence in the mind of my youth. As the shepherd, I feel responsible for the youth of the party to be able to say, you know what, you have a leader who can stand for you, who can speak boldly for you. And so that's why you will see me tweet things like, if they come for you, give it back to them, woto. It's because I needed to encourage the youth of our party who had been bullied into silence and who had been made to feel that if you support Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you are supporting evil and you are not wishing the best for Nigeria. They want you to die. They want you to lose your business. No. We should never get to that position in this country because of politics. It's too bad.
Dayo, we're going to have to take a quick break right now, but when we get back, I have a question for you. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Perspectives on Arise News. Dayo, we're glad you're still with us. Back to this topic of the water and giving it back to them. You mentioned something. You said you give it back to them by letting them see your success. You don't want to block people, which is very good. I think there's some leadership characteristics in that. But I just wonder, at what point do you, as a leader, decide to make a stronger focus on uniting people? You mentioned the Hutsis, the Tutsis, and how this divisive era of our country can actually make or break us as a collective nation. What roles are you playing to unite more? Instead of thinking, oh, I'm going to give it back, how can we unite instead?
Thank you very much, Torera. The reality is that a lot of young people, or a lot of people there are also a lot of people out there who don't, share our beliefs in the same candidate, but who are very reasonable to talk to. I have a lot of friends who are from different parts of the country. I have my closest aide who are from different parts of the country than I am, in particular southeast of Nigeria, where a lot of this water have come from. The reality is they are reasonable people that you can engage. But the guys on Twitter, many of them, if you know the things I've seen, just sitting down here doing your break that I'm reading on Twitter on our conversation, they are just there, faceless, hiding behind different names, creating fake accounts just to attack you. They just want to fight you. They are not ready to be reasonable. There's no conversation you have to them. So there are people that you want to have critical, intelligent conversation. And I tweeted that. I said, if you come and let's have a critical, intelligent conversation, we will have that with you. I did that about a few days ago or some weeks ago. Okay. But if you want to give us woto, we have the capacity to give you both and serve you all. So you must understand that there's an audience. Many of them who are just out there, they are hiding behind anonymous identity and just want to insult and attack you. They will never be reasonable with you. So those ones, you must be ready to defend yourself. It's even scriptural. Nehemiah told the children of Israel, let some people be mounting the block and setting the block for the wall, while the others are carrying guns and spear, defending our integrity, our mission, and our mandate. So that one, you need that. So we need our Twitter warriors, we need our social media defenders to do their job. While we also boots on the ground, amazing people from across Nigeria who have supported the Labour Party candidate, who have supported the NNPP candidate, who have supported the PDP candidate, And we will sit together, we will have a drink, we would interact, I will support, and look at, for example, where people are even reaching out across the divide to say, you guys have won now. How do we work together? How do we leverage? So you look beyond political party. We're now in government. We're now in the face of governance and leadership. So we're beginning to work with others, even across party line. For example, there's a lot of agitation going on across the country right now for the leadership of the National Assembly or the Senate and all of that. The reality is that, either you're APC or PDP, you have to work together to pass legislations, to move laws, to make the country move forward. But, there are people you have those intellectual conversations with. But you need to identify that there are those that you would not be able to convince because they just find pleasure in abusing you, in insulting you, and in attacking you. You also must be ready to defend yourself and have enough capacity for warfare, social media warfare, to be able to fight back. But for those who are intelligent enough to be able to say, how do we collaborate? That you can engage on your, and I'm doing a lot of that because there are a lot of sensible, reasonable people in Nigeria who understand that even though we have different people that we're supporting or we supported in the election, we all want the same thing, which is a better Nigeria. We all want a Nigeria that works for everybody. And so we must be united post-election to be able to ensure that we are able to collectively hold the government accountable, support the government, ensure that we can build a Nigeria where justice and peace will prevail. And I have no doubt that our president-elect is going to come and make Nigeria better. But what do you do when a man who stands up in an aircraft when the plane is about to depart, like happened yesterday, I think it was on Ibom here, and begin to say, all of you are sitting down here. You are sitting down when they want to elect Tinubu. It's never going to happen. You are threatening them. It means that if this guy had access to a weapon, he could hold the aircraft ransom and become a terrorist just to show that he's angry because his candidate did not win the election. Who told you that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not going to perform? Who told you he's an evil person? No, because of the propaganda that they have created. They've spilled it into the mind of their followers. And this thing must stop. We must not allow people to turn this country upside down
so much,
because of their own interest.
Dayo, calm down, calm down, calm down. We are just the host. You're not the enemy. Calm down, calm down. But you see, we know who you support. You stand by who you support. But like I said, let's not deviate from the essence of this topic. Because one thing we also have to realize that some of these people who post these comments also have their own pressing issues. They're also still suffering through their own inner turmoils. Not every single person that posts negativity really feels it, but it's a platform in which they're expressing their frustrations, their anger, their hurt, and what have you. So some of them are not in good some of them are not in good mental state of mind. So I think what people should also understand that sometimes when you are a victim of this, you try and put yourself in the person's shoes and not get as belligerent or as angry as you normally would. Because there's a Yoruba proverb that says, in other words, it's the person who wears the shoes that know how it hurts. So rather than get so agitated, so angry, or so vehement in your expression, you have to understand sometimes that some of these things are from
others who just find pleasure.
Dayo, calm down. Let me finish.
There are others.
Calm down. Let me finish.
Okay.
I want you behind me, as an advocate, if you are this ferocious about your beliefs, but you have to. All I'm just saying is you should have to sometimes look out of the box, look beyond what has been posted, and understand that some of these things are coming from a place of deep hurt, unhappiness, or unhealthy state of mind. That's just what I'm saying. I'm not saying all of them are innocent. I'm just saying there's some who are not as guilty as they come across as. Right. Do you understand?
Yeah.
But anyway,
you're very right.
I have to thank you, Dayo, for your vibrant and very, very, very aggressive defense. So thank you for being with us
we
tonight.
Enjoyed it.
And we've enjoyed it, and we hope that you can look at.
Thank you very much for having me. And if I may just quickly say before you leave, the Yoruba has a proverb that says, "Amukun erewo." And Amuku replied and said, "Okay, lenwo wusale." In other words,
those who don't speak Yoruba,
what you're carrying on your head is bent. Yes, the Amuku, what you're carrying on your head is bent. And Amuku said, you are looking at the top, you're not looking at the bottom. It's not what I'm carrying that is bent. It is my leg, the way Amoku is standing, his leg is not straight. And that is what is making what is above him bend. So when we begin to look at issues like cyberbullying and attacks, we must look at what are the foundational issues. Where is
thank you so much, Dayo.
And it comes from places such as even the comments that we make in public about people.
Thank you so much, Dayo, for being with us. And you have really made this morning quite interesting. We hope to see you again, and thank you so much for being our guest. And Toke as well, thank you so much for being with us. Now, you must realize that the people who are bullying you are the ones who are insecure. So try not to take it personally. Other ways to respond to harassers are by projecting confidence and calmness. Do not respond by apologizing, making excuses, or asking them questions. You do not need to do any of it. Do not swear or lose your temper. Don't be deterred because of what you believe in. Stand firm. You can also block messages or emails from the sender if you feel the need to. And that's all we have time for today. And remember, folks, life is a learning curve. Thank you for being here on Perspectives with me. I am Ruth Osime.
And I am Olatorera Majekodunmi-Oniru. We all need the healthiest dosage of confidence and good self-esteem. Stand up for what you believe in the most eloquent way possible, and negotiate positive relationships with everyone you interact with, online and offline. The key to a better world today is humanity. Our world needs a much stronger dosage of healthy love, care, and compassion. Thank you so much for watching Perspectives. Thank you to our special guests for joining us today. Have a great weekend, everybody, and see you all soon. Goodbye.